Verse 13. So they said to him, then what sign do you do that we may see and believe you? What work do you perform? Because so it's interesting. He told them, when they came there, Jesus immediately told them, the reason you're here is because, not because you saw a sign, but because you eat your fill. And to be saved, you need to just do one work, and that is do the work of the Father and the works of God. And they asked him, what's the works we need to do? And Jesus said, and the work that you need to do is ultimately to believe in Him who has sent. And their reaction to that then is to, but which sign do you do so that we may see and believe you? Because Jesus just basically told them that, I mean, I've done the sign. You see the sign, right? But you did not believe because you saw the sign. You believed because you ate the bread. And now you're asking for a sign. I just told you that you saw a sign, but that sign wasn't the reason you were here. It's like a little bit head scratchy kind of idea. Don't you see that you're contradicting yourself here, people? I just told you that the sign is not why you're here, but it's because you ate. And I told you what you're not supposed to do is believe, and now you want to see a sign again? I just fed you. I mean, there's a sign, but you didn't believe the sign. You only believed because you ate. That's a problem. You can ask for a sign, you can say you want a sign, but actually you're not really interested in a sign. You don't want to believe. Hey, that's as well why Jesus did not allow them to make him a king. That's why he walked away from them and he joined his disciples. Ultimately, he walked on water even to get to them, to show them that this is not who he is, that he does not choose to follow the way of the world, right? And people want to make him king just because they ate bread and they're full. But that they will be with the disciples on the boat. That's what it's about. It's not about seeing is believing. It's about believing. And how do you believe? But a gift of God. Okay, and so what work? I mean, I just fed you all. Like, can't you understand? Because they don't have faith. Because the Spirit is not working in them. Right? Chapter 3. Because they're not born again. Because they're dead in sin. Because they're looking for one kind of sign. They're looking for a king who can fill them up. Right? So that's why people vote for certain political parties, the parties would promise them food. Okay? And one lesson I did last night in front of the second tallest building, well, actually in the fountain in front of the second tallest building, like now it's, I think, number 19 and 20 in the world, the Twin Towers, the highest towers here, the Petronas, you can't see all of it, no. On the previous video earlier, you can go and check it. You'll see all of the towers. Here's just kind of a dolphin whale kind of in the back, but in front of this a fountain as well, and fountains over there, and music, and it's beautiful, right? But last night in that other there, I said that I walked over that walk bridge and I saw these people, and I was like, feel if I can just get a hotel and where they and then take them all there and give them a free night's sleep. And that's a very important thing, right? And what Jesus did, he fed the people, he gave them food, and they had their full. But as we were standing as well here looking at the people there while teaching, or just after that, looking at the beautiful fountain and the show, I was just seeing all those hundreds of people standing there watching it as well, milling around, looking at this. How many of them will... They all most likely have a place to sleep tonight, right? But how many of them will go to hell? I would say, I think the vast majority of those people who are standing there, they're going to hell. So, like last night, I saw two people in a bridge. I know I've seen in previous instances more people, right? But it's a few needing that. And though, yes, it is important, we do need to help as Christians, people in need. But what moves us more? Seeing those two people, there's no place to sleep, or seeing hundreds of people, if not thousands. Well, I don't think there were thousands here, but hundreds for sure. Okay, standing around watching this, and we're having a place to sleep, but all going to hell. Like this year, Jesus fed them, and they're like, but I done this, but you need to believe. But you don't want to believe. I mean, Yes, the feeding was important, but the faith they ought to have, and then to believe in Jesus, that was the important thing. Right? That is why he went with his disciples, and he knew these guys won't believe. And that's the sad part of it. What moves us as Christians ultimately? The same things that moved Jesus, right? Feeding these people just to have them full, you know, and then what? Tomorrow you're hungry again. But what moves you as a Christian truly? Yes, you need to be moved when you see people in need, and you need to help people as far as humanly possible. But is that the most important thing? So, verse 31, they continue. Our fathers ate the manna in the wilderness, as it's written. He gave them bread from heaven to eat. So he said, you know, Moses did this. In the previous chapter he mentioned Moses. Right? Moses wrote about me. You know, believe in Moses, you ought to believe in me. Okay, because Moses wrote about me, okay? So, you know, you teach about Moses. So here again, immediately, our fathers, and with this they imply Moses. You know, they gave manna in the wilderness. So, bread from heaven. So, which side are you going to? I mean, I just did a miracle for you. I mean, like, this is what Jesus said, but, well, yeah, bread from heaven. And you, what did you do? A few barley loaves, kind of. Yeah, right, great, we ate, but. Verse 32. Jesus then said to them, truly, truly, I say to you, it was not Moses who gave you the bread from heaven, but my Father gives you the true bread from heaven. So he said, no, you have it all wrong. It's not Moses who gave you that bread. It's not as if Moses went up there to heaven and then he opened the gates of heaven and then threw out the manna from there. It was God who was doing that. Right? So in the same thing, it's not Moses, it's God. It's my Father who gives you not true bread. Who is that true bread? That's me. I mean, ultimately, it's, don't you understand? Verse 33. For the bread of God is he who comes down from heaven and gives life to the world. So what is this bread of God? It's the one who comes down from heaven, right? And who gives life to the world. Who is that bread ultimately? That's Jesus. Who brings life to the world? That's Jesus, right? It's like I always say, when you ask a question someone in Sunday school, it's like, if you don't know the answer, just say Jesus. And most of the time you'll be correct. Okay? I mean, life. Jesus came from heaven. He said as well earlier. He is the one who came down from heaven. No one came from heaven except the Son of Man. He came from heaven. He is that bread. He brings life. He is sent by the Father. The previous chapter he explained it. The deeds that he is doing, these are the Father. So, I mean, he's teaching, he's repeating himself over and over and over and over again in the same, but just using different examples. Like I stand in different places to try and bring you some more beauty. This is the same kind of thing that Jesus is doing. He's showing the same picture but from different perspectives, so some perspective might get through to you, but no perspective got through to them, right? We're going to see it in this chapter. No perspective got through. They never understood because they're not born again, because they don't believe in Jesus, because they want someone who can feed them. They want someone who can be the king. They want someone to set them free. They want stuff. They focus on the here and now. But what the hell is the point of being focused on the here and now if you go to hell? Okay, so you have this flat condo in some of these beautiful buildings. I have an office with a view from there, and I'm afraid of heights, so please never give me an office there, except maybe on the second or third floor. And what? Tomorrow you die, and then what?